Hello there. Today we've got, for our intermediate level song, Chattanooga Choo Choo, and you'll be able to hear that metronome. So online it says that Chattanooga Choo Choo was played at, I think it was 168 beats per minute, or, because that's really fast, 73. So I've got this set at 73, and I said in other videos, you may not have heard, but if you just put the metronome on, because it can be really disconcerting to play along with it, it's a great thing to do, but if you just put it on, if you've got one or an app on your phone, and start to fiddle around with it, and so this is 4/4 time, and this particular metronome, which is has a built-in tuner for electronic instruments and regular, because there's a microphone as well. But it doesn't clip on, obviously. Combination of the metronome, and then I put some details about this particular one in my video that I did about metronomes, and I can't remember what number that is. It's in the advanced beginner level. So I'm going to start to sort out my videos soon and try and set up some playlists and etc. So we've got that red, 2, 3, 4. Red is for beat 1, and this is at 73. And if you just spend a bit of time internalizing that accurate beat, it would be like taking up the drums, which I recommend. So just playing of all kinds. And so now I'm going to increase it to the tempo that apparently it was played at. Getting close. I think it was 168, so I've gone a bit beyond. Slow down, Glenn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pardon me, sir, is that the Chattanooga Choo Choo? I hope I've told you the title, because that's what it is. 2, 3, 4. Won't you give me a shine? 2, 3, 4. Okay, so enough of that. But just so that you know the two different speeds and a little bit more metronome use at this level for people that are interested. We're all in tune here. So I've got the high G instrument here, and you would need to purchase a low G string in order to put that lower one on. I don't suggest that you want to do that for any reason other than just to noodle around. It's great to have, it gives you a bit more range when you're doing picked songs, which is great. Because in Sweet Caroline, for example, it goes da da, and the G is what's needed in that, depending on the key. And so it goes da 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 when you do the little riff, and it should be da 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 because the G is the lower G. So G is an optional thing to change. If you have two ukuleles, it's great to have one on each. So we are playing in the key of G, and you'll see the chart. It looks scarily hard, but it's not. Just chip away at it, and I'm going to show you some little tricks to make it easier. And it's really a fun song. We love it in group, and so we're going to dive in. So I'm in tune. I've done my check-in, holding, back end, finger, good fret hand strength building. And normally in my groups I always do a bit of fret muting using the B flat, where you're doing that squeeze, release. And then you could move up to, and that would be when you have a 4-fretted note, that is a movable chord. In any case, we're not going to do any of the fret muting today, but just to remind you about doing that when you sit down to practice. It's a good habit to get into, a little bit of that. So we've got a G chord. And then we have what looks complicated, E minor 7, and this is a repeating chord progression in the song. So you've got G, and then you just simply lift up your ring finger, and there you are at the E minor 7. And then A minor 7, all the notes that you need for that are on the open strings. And it also has another name, but we're not going to get into that right now. Then you'll see that the D7 is the barred form, or you could use the 3-finger. It's not really necessary to bar, but it's 4-fretted notes. So you can always use the alternative one, which is the 2 fingers. Okay, and then you're doing that refrain again, so G. So I'm going to start into it. Other than scanning down, and E7 comes on the second line, so you want to make sure that you know how to get from the A minor 7, which is open strings, to an E7 chord. And then you're back to open, Anyways, we'll pick that apart in a minute. But the hardest one that I have circled is the F sharp diminished seventh chord, and it's just a 4-fretted note chord, so don't let that put you off. And you could just stay on the F chord. In any case, we're going to move down to that. That's in the middle section, the third line. You're going from F, and then you have a 4-fretted note. These diminished chords are all 4-fretted notes, but the way I tell people to create it is use your baby finger to fret the C note, which is the one you're used to fretting the C chord on, but use your baby finger, and then you're going to intersperse, and it's just a flourish kind of a chord. So then what I tell people to do is loop those two chords, so F, and then baby finger down, add these two, and then this. And then you're on a C chord after that, so you can just let everything go because you already formed the C chord by doing that. Okay, so I think that happens twice. And then the only other one that I have with a circle around it is what's farther down near the end. 1, 2, 3, fourth line from the bottom at the end is an E flat 7. So it's like the D7. Same form, except for everything is up one, because remember, when their 4 notes are fretted, now you move them. You can move them, you don't have to move them. So there's an E flat 7, so this is D, and then this would be E flat, and this would be an E7, just a different form than this one. Okay, so nice and slow, just a G chord. If you only do the refrain at the top on the introduction as a practice, I think you'll really enjoy doing that. Beautiful sounding chords. The starting sung note would be a B, so we haven't done a vocal warm-up. C, la, and then E, la. So I'm going to fret a B note, and where do I find it? Well, A string, and on this would be B flat, this is B here. La. So that would be too high. La. I'm dropping down an octave. And that's just our starting note, and it's part of a G chord, so that's why it works well with the homework, fits in there. So we've got 2 beats of G, let go of the ring finger for the E minor 7. Then everything, and you can balance the instrument like this. Then let's do the 2-fretted note D7, not if they've got it written there. Okay, then down to G, let the ring finger go. Open completely. One more time from the beginning. G. Let one finger go. Open strings. Now D7. Jump down. Lift one finger. A minor. And one more time, because that happens a bunch in the song, so it's good to get those chords familiar. So if you don't know it, when you're playing it, really study it. So G. Let go, E minor 7, because it'll come up in other songs as you get more into this. G, let one go, open, D7. And I'm going to slow it down even more, because now we're adding lyrics, and you can always go la 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 la, la 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 la, let go, open. Now E7, here's your plan up here. Track 20, open 4 beats. D. Here's our pattern again. G, let one go, open. La 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 la, la 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 la. Open 4. G. And so you see a slash, so that would indicate to shut it off, strike the chord one time. And then when you're doing the song in the San Jose Club, what they've done is they've given you as close to music notation as you can in terms of the lyric. So right from the top, the intro, not looking at the intro, but pardon me, sir, and then the A minor 7 has no words under it. So you're just going to be doing that open, and then is comes on the and of 1, I would say. Yeah, 1. Is that the Chattanooga 1, 2? Anyways, we'll carry on. So tacit means don't play your instrument, you're just singing it. You leave the And I've done the lyrics now, straight, or you could la 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 la. Now F, and remember our trick, put the baby finger on, position these two, then let it go. Down to have your ham and eggs in Carolina. 1, 2, D minor, G, C. Then you know the Tennessee. 1, 2. Here we go with our little F, then our diminished chord. Oops. And let it go. Chattanooga, there you. And then D7, and then you're back to the same pattern as the top. There's gonna be a certain party and want to let it go. Satin and lace. I used to call funny face and let it go. La 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 la. Here's our more challenging one. So I'm barring at the 3, thumb and back, and whatever sound you get out of it, it's fine. I think that's where the whistle blows. So Chattanooga, choo choo, won't you choo choo me, G, and let it go. Let it go. And the train is coming into the station. Little flourish there, woo woo! And if you have somebody with a train, one of those train whistles, that's really fun. So, you know, at tempo. And you could bar that D7, really building out straight. I don't particularly like the way that D7 sounds. It's okay, but I just like the more ringiness of the 2-fretted note 1. But always good to do a bit of barring, and that's a good opportunity to do that. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up so it doesn't get too long and you can get on the train and get going. I hope you have found that helpful. If you have, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll keep on the ukulele train. And I will see you on our next video. Bye for now.